Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, 17-year-old charged with the murder of her brother. A 17-year-old student who is alleged to have killed her brother Alwyn Beckford has been slapped with a murder charge. Anika Dennis was recently charged following a question and answer session over the weekend. Her sibling, 24-year-old Sherika Dennis, and their stepfather, 62-year-old Royston Dennis, were previously charged with Beckford's murder. The now deceased man was reportedly hit with a stone during a confrontation with his relatives last Monday at Hertford in Petersfield in the parish. He later succumbed to his injuries. Reports from the police indicate that Beckford was at home with his fiancée when an argument developed between him and one of his sisters. During the argument, it is alleged that the three family members, including his sisters, began hurling stones at Beckford, one of which reportedly hit him on the left side of his head, causing a wound that bled profusely. Beckford later collapsed and was rushed to the Savannah Lamar Public General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Their court date is being finalized. PNP blasts Vaz for revealing private information on Golding. The People's National Party has blasted Transport Minister Darrell Vaz over his release of private information on opposition leader Mark Golding during a radio interview on Radio Jamaica's Beyond the Headlines on Monday evening. There has been growing debate over Mr. Golding's status as a Jamaican as well as a British citizen, with Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Monday arguing that if Mr. Golding is to serve as the country's highest leader or even the opposition leader, he must pledge sole loyalty to Jamaica. Addressing the issue on Monday afternoon, Mr. Vaz disclosed the private information on Mr. Golding's interaction with the Passport, Immigration and the Citizenship Agency while speaking on the dual citizenship impasse. In a statement Tuesday, Shadow Minister for Information Nikisha Burchell described the releasing of Mr. Golding's private dealings with PICA as a significant breach of privacy which should be investigated. She warned that the practice of politicians disclosing private information on their opponent as part of political gamesmanship is of grave concern to the public.
I'm calling on Dr. the Honorable Dana Morris Dixon, who has the responsibility for information and digital transformation, to address this serious breach promptly. This incident severely undermines the confidence of every Jamaican and raises significant concerns about the privacy and security of the data held by government agency, particularly in light of the recently enacted Data Protection Act and the impending rollout of the National Identification System, NIDS. When you think that your personal health information, your education information, your information as it relates to national security and any infractions you may have with the state, your tax information could very well be accessed by a minister or a minister's agent and be used against you in your private or your professional life. That is not a confident position for any Jamaican, and we need to hear from the minister promptly what response they will outline for the actions that her ministry will take to rectify this egregious privacy breach.
Disquiet among Police Federation members as a former chairman barred from conference. There is disquiet among rank and file members of the Jamaica Police Federation amid a report that former chairman Corporal Rohan James will not be in attendance at the annual conference of the Federation, which kicks off Tuesday in Montego Bay, St. James. In a letter published recently to the federated members, the newly elected chairman, Inspector Blanche Codner, reportedly confirmed that James will not be in attendance at the conference. There are a few things we need to bring to your attention and address some concerns that have been raised. Regarding the attendance of Corporal James at the 81st Annual Joint Conferences, please note the Commissioner of Police must approve attendance for non-delegates. No approval was given for Corporal Rohan James, the former chairman, to attend the conference, Codner wrote. In response, James has argued that neither the chairman nor the police commissioner has the authority to bar him from attending the conference, which he said is the highest decision-making body for the rank and file membership's welfare and well-being. Consequently, I will be attending. As a matter of fact, as we speak, I am on my way there, he told the news. The conference is scheduled for May 21 to 23, 2024 at the Hilton Rose Hall Resort and Spa, Montego Bay, St. James. Voicing their displeasure at the news that Corporal James would not be attending the conference, some Federation members expressed that they believe James is being silenced. We feel angry and betrayed. It's like a slap in the face. That's how we feel. Things not go normal down here today, one member told the news. James was interdicted over remarks he made in July last year at a funeral service for a slain cop. Speaking at the Thanksgiving service for the life of slain Constable Damian Blair at the Old Harbor New Testament Church of God in St. Catherine, James reportedly chided the police high command for allegedly failing to have overtime payments made to rank and file police personnel, despite the government approving such a system to calculate and make the payments. A Supreme Court ruling in November 2023, however, ordered that James resume his duties as the chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation with immediate effect. However, the Court of Appeal later granted Assistant Commissioner of Police Andrew Lewis permission to pursue an appeal of the orders of Justice T. Carr to stay the interdiction of Corporal James. As a result, James's reinstatement was halted. Cabinet approves increase in stipend for jurors. Cabinet has approved an increase in the stipend for jurors, says the Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck, making the announcement during his contribution to the 2024-2025 sectorial debate in the House of Representatives on May 21. The minister said each juror whose name is called for any circuit will be paid $2,000 for each day he or she attends. He further noted that jurors who are impaneled and who serve on a case will now receive $6,000 per day instead of the present $2,000. He said this represents a 200% increase. This is necessary because a lot of jurors, especially in the rural areas, have to take taxi from way in the hills down to the town. They spend the money to get there, yes. Sometimes they are not impaneled. So we think it's appropriate that once they are served with a summons to come to court and your name is called and you are there, you can be reimbursed the $2,000. If you serve for a day, you get $6,000, Chuck said. He pointed out that the necessary regulations will be brought to Parliament to support the changes. Chuck said the ministry is well aware of the challenges facing the jury system and has had several discussions with stakeholders on ways to improve this important arm of justice. Meanwhile, he said the ministry continues to improve the resources provided to the nation's courts. Shortly, we will be putting in solar panels. We have started at the Sutton Street and the Halfway Tree courts, and we hope to put solar panels in most of the courts across Jamaica. This will ensure that we move towards a greener environment, the minister said. No bail for jealous woman who allegedly stabbed the ex-boyfriend's new lover with a knife. A St. James woman accused of stabbing her ex-boyfriend's current partner in an apparent jealous rage, resulting in the victim undergoing surgery, was found unsuitable for bail during her appearance in the parish court on Monday. Nikisha Collins appeared before presiding judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton, charged with wounding with intent. According to court documents, Collins was previously romantically involved with the man who is currently in a relationship with the complainant. The prosecution alleges that on February 16, while the complainant was at her home, Collins arrived there and engaged in a confrontation in which she attempted to stab her with a knife. Two individuals had to step in to stop Collins from causing harm to the complainant. It is also claimed that Collins made a threatening statement to the complainant before the authorities arrived, saying, "Me must kill you." 4 days later, about 8 p.m., the complainant was reportedly on her way to work when she was confronted by Collins, who allegedly brandished a knife and stabbed her in the region of her left breast. The complainant had to undergo a surgical procedure due to the severity of the injury. Collins was apprehended in Hanover on March 6 and is subsequently charged. During Monday's hearing, the prosecution objected to Collins being granted bail. The prosecution argued that Collins posed a potential risk of fleeing and may fail to appear for her trial. Collins' lawyer, Chume Paris, argued in his bail application that credibility was a live issue. He claimed that his client went to the man's house to retrieve items she had left behind and was subsequently attacked by the complainant. However, Fairclough Hilton noted that there was no evidence in the case file to support Collins' claim of self-defense. The judge further noted that Collins had threatened to harm the complainant and that the complainant's need for surgery demonstrated the gravity of the injury. I don't know of any suitable conditions that I can impose to prevent her from carrying out these attacks, Fairclough Hilton stated, prior to rejecting the request for bail. The defendant was remanded in custody until June 4, when the case returns to court.